2 weeks after my miscarriage, my sister-in-law brought her newborn to our housewarming without asking. When I politely excused myself, she followed me into the bathroom and said, "You're just jealous you can't do what I can." My husband said, "She didn't mean it like that." So I showed him the group chat where they called me the broken one. Then I sent screenshots to her husband. I'm 34. My husband, Mark, is 36. We've been together for 10 years, married for 6. We don't have kids. Well, we almost did. I had a miscarriage 2 weeks before we moved into our new house in Toledo, Ohio. I was 11 weeks along. It was the most painful thing I've ever gone through, physically and emotionally. The cramping, the blood, the way my body felt empty afterward. The way Mark looked at me like he didn't know what to do. I remember lying on the bathroom floor, crying until I couldn't breathe. We had been so excited. We were already planning how we'd turn the third bedroom into a nursery. Mark painted it light green. I haven't gone back in there since. 2 weeks after the miscarriage, we were moving into our first real house. Not a rental. Not a tiny apartment. A place we'd saved up for since our wedding. A place we'd hoped to raise a family in. I didn't want a party, but I told Mark a small housewarming might help me feel a little normal again. I needed something to focus on that wasn't pain. I made it clear, no babies, no little kids. I couldn't handle it. I told him that in plain English. He nodded, said, "Of course. I understand." I don't know if he ever actually passed that along. The day of the housewarming, I was on edge, but trying to push through. We had maybe a dozen people coming. Friends, Mark's coworkers, and a couple family members. I didn't invite Jess, Mark's sister. She had just had her second baby a few weeks ago, and she and I aren't close. Jess has always rubbed me the wrong way. Loud, pushy, competitive in the worst way. She's the kind of person who makes everything about her. I don't think she ever liked me. I've always gotten the sense she didn't think I was good enough for her brother. After my miscarriage, she didn't even reach out. No text, no call, nothing. Just kept posting pictures of her newborn on Facebook with long captions about how motherhood is a sacred calling, and some of us are just built for it. So, when she showed up to my house that Saturday afternoon, completely uninvited, carrying her newborn in one of those slings across her chest, I froze. I was in the kitchen setting out snacks when I heard a baby cry. My chest tightened. I looked up and saw her walking through the door, grinning like she owned the place. She was wearing a white dress, heels, her hair all done up. Like she was walking into a wedding. She didn't even look at me. Just started making her rounds. "You want to hold her?" she asked someone. "She's an angel, I swear." People looked uncomfortable. I saw a few glances thrown my way. I stood there, frozen, holding a bowl of pretzels like an idiot. Mark saw her too. He gave me this weak smile and walked over to greet her like it was no big deal. I didn't say anything. I just turned around, walked upstairs, and locked myself in the bathroom. My hands were shaking. I sat on the edge of the tub and tried not to scream. My chest hurt. It actually hurt, like something was crushing me. That's when she came upstairs. She knocked on the bathroom door. "Hey, you okay in there?" I didn't answer. She knocked again. "It's just me. I figured you'd need a break from the crowd." Then she laughed. Like this was some inside joke. Still, I said nothing. Then I heard her say, through the door, "You're seriously hiding in the bathroom? Come on. You're just jealous you can't do what I can." My ears started ringing. I stood up, opened the door, and stared at her. I must have looked crazy. Her smile dropped. She backed away, said, "I was joking." I didn't say a word. I walked right past her, down the stairs, and pulled Mark aside. She said I'm jealous because I can't have a baby. His eyes went wide. I'm sure she didn't mean it like that. That's when something inside me snapped. "I'm going to show you something," I said. I went to my phone, scrolled through the screenshots I'd taken months ago. See, a while back, Mark's mom accidentally added me to a group chat with her, Jess, their aunt, and another sister. I don't think they realized it. They were talking about me. I saw every message. They called me the broken one. Said Mark should have married someone more maternal. One of them wrote, "She's not built for motherhood. Some women just aren't." Jess laughed at that. I saw the reaction. A laughing emoji. I was removed from the chat 2 minutes later. I took screenshots. I never showed them to Mark. I figured it wasn't worth the fight. But now? Now I opened them and I handed him my phone. His face changed. He looked like someone had hit him. He sat down, didn't say a word. Then I opened a new text and sent the screenshots straight to Jess's husband. Every single one. I included what she said to me in the bathroom, too. Typed it out exactly how she said it. I made sure he saw it. Then I went downstairs. Stood in the middle of the living room and said, "Thanks for coming, but the party's over. Please leave." People were confused, but they left. No one argued. Mark didn't say a word. Jess grabbed her things and left without looking at me. Later that night, her husband texted me. He didn't say much. Just, "Thank you for telling me." I had no idea. And that was just the start. The house was quiet after everyone left. Too quiet. Mark sat on the couch, still holding my phone like it might bite him. I didn't sit. I just stood across from him, arms crossed, waiting. He finally looked up. "Why didn't you tell me about the group chat before?" I let out a laugh, short and bitter. Would it have changed anything? "You didn't even believe me when I told you what Jess said today." He flinched. "I believed you. I didn't know what to say." "That's the problem," I said. "You never do." We didn't talk much after that. He slept on the couch. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling until the sun came up. The next day, the storm rolled in. Jess's husband, Danny, blew up their group chat with screenshots. He added Jess's mom, both sisters, even Mark. He asked, point blank, "Why the hell would you talk about my brother's wife like this?" The replies came fast, defensive, panicked, full of excuses. She misunderstood. It was just venting. We didn't mean anything by it. Jess didn't say much at first. But then she replied directly to me. "You're trying to ruin my marriage because you lost your baby? That's sick." That was it. I screen recorded the whole conversation and sent it to Danny directly in case they tried to delete anything. He didn't reply, but I saw he read it. Mark kept his distance. I think he was embarrassed. Maybe angry. But he didn't defend me to them, not once. Not in the chat. Not in person. He just stayed quiet, like if he ignored it long enough, it would all go away. It didn't. A week later, I got a message from Jess's other sister, Rachel. She's the quiet one of the family, keeps to herself, always neutral. She said, "For what it's worth, I'm sorry. You didn't deserve any of that." I didn't reply. Then I started hearing things from a cousin, then an old friend of Mark's. Jess was telling people that I'd faked my miscarriage for attention. That I was using grief to manipulate everyone. I saw a comment under one of her Instagram posts that said, "Stay strong, mama." Some women just can't handle seeing others happy. And Jess liked it. That was the moment I knew this wasn't just about grief anymore. This was war. And I wasn't going to let her win. I didn't reply to the comment. I didn't post anything. I waited. I knew Jess had a job interview coming up. She'd been unemployed since maternity leave started. She'd been bragging about a position at a local nonprofit. Said it was her dream job. So I did something I don't regret. I emailed the organization's HR department. I used my real name. No hiding. I told them I had serious concerns about a candidate they were interviewing. I attached screenshots from the group chat. The ones where she called me broken, mocked my miscarriage, laughed about it. I explained I was her sister-in-law and that she had recently brought her newborn into my home 2 weeks after my loss, then told me to my face that I was just jealous. I ended it by saying, You may want to ask yourself if this is the kind of person who should be representing your organization. I didn't expect a response, but I got one. They thanked me for my honesty. Said they'd review her file. She didn't get the job. 3 days later, I got a call from an unknown number. It was Jess. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. Her voice was cold. I hope you know what you've done. I said I do. Then I hung up. That night, Mark confronted me. Did you really cost her a job? I showed the truth, I said. She did the rest. He didn't yell. He didn't even argue. He just looked at me like he didn't recognize me anymore. Maybe he didn't. I didn't recognize him either. Mark changed after that night. Not in a big, dramatic way. Not all at once. Just small things at first. He got quieter. Stopped coming to bed some nights. Spent more time at work. When he was home, it felt like he wasn't really there. Like he was going through the motions. I asked him once, "Do you think I went too far?" He didn't answer. That silence said everything. The truth is, I didn't care if he thought I went too far. I had spent months holding everything in, smiling through family dinners, ignoring the passive-aggressive digs, pretending I wasn't falling apart. All while Jess and the others whispered behind my back. Now it was their turn to squirm. And it wasn't over. Because I remembered something else. A year ago, at Thanksgiving, Jess had too much wine. She bragged to a few of us in the kitchen about how she and Danny had adjusted their taxes a little when they bought their new SUV. Just a couple numbers here and there, she said, laughing. You'd be surprised how easy it is. People cheat on their taxes all the time. At the time, I figured she was just running her mouth. But now? Now I wanted to be sure. I reached out to an old high school friend who worked for a tax firm. I didn't give details. Just said I was trying to understand something for a friend. He explained that what she described could absolutely be tax fraud if she'd lied about income or claimed credits she wasn't eligible for. So I wrote another letter. This time, to the IRS whistleblower office. I gave them everything. Her full name, address, job history, even screenshots of a social media post where she showed off the new SUV and wrote, "Thankful for those sweet tax tricks." I mailed it and forgot about it. 2 months later, Danny filed for separation. I heard through Rachel that he'd found texts on Jess's phone, conversations between her and another guy. Some gym trainer. She'd been meeting up with him during her postpartum walks. Danny took the kids and moved in with his parents. Jess's world started to fall apart. She lost the job she did have, a part-time marketing gig at a local boutique. They said they didn't want to be involved in family drama, but I suspect they got wind of the nonprofit situation. Word travels fast in small circles. Mark and I barely spoke by then. I could feel it happening, something slipping between us, like water through fingers. I think he hated what I'd done. Hated that I'd dragged his family's secrets into the light. But he never once asked why they said those things about me. Never once defended me. One night I told him, "You're mad that I exposed them." But they were fine mocking me after I lost our child. He didn't look up from the TV. I packed a bag the next day and went to stay with my sister. That was 3 weeks ago. I haven't heard from Mark since. He hasn't called. Hasn't texted. Not once. But yesterday, Rachel messaged me. "Jess might get audited," she wrote. "She's freaking out. She thinks you reported her." I didn't reply. I just looked around the little guest room I've been staying in, and for the first time in months, I felt calm. Not happy, not proud, just calm. But it's not over yet, because secrets like these don't stay buried. And I still haven't told Mark what else I know. After I left, the silence between Mark and me stretched into something permanent. 3 weeks turned into 5. I stayed at my sister's place, helped with her kids, went to therapy once a week. I kept my head down, tried to figure out what the hell I was supposed to do next. I wasn't sure if I still had a marriage. I wasn't even sure if I wanted one anymore. But then one day, Out of nowhere, Mark texted me, "Can we talk?" I agreed to meet him at the house. Our house. The one we were supposed to start a family in. When I walked in, it was like stepping into a ghost town. Furniture half unpacked. The baby room door closed. Mark sat at the dining table. He looked tired. Older. He didn't hug me. Didn't even stand. "I've been thinking," he said. "About everything." I didn't say anything. I waited. "I should have said something to them," he said. "Back then. When I saw those messages, I should have defended you." I nodded. "Yes, you should have." He looked down. I didn't want to believe they could be that cruel. But I saw it. I saw what they said. And I still tried to protect them. He rubbed his face. I was a coward. I didn't argue. Then he said something that surprised me. "Jess called me last week. Said she's being investigated. IRS. Danny's lawyer found the texts. She thinks you ruined her life." "She ruined mine first," I said. He looked up at me. "Did you?" I met his eyes. I didn't lie. He nodded, slowly, then whispered, "Good." That's when I told him the rest. I told him about Thanksgiving. About Jess bragging in the kitchen. About the screenshots. The car, the fake numbers, the tax fraud. And I told him one last thing I'd never said out loud. Your mom knew she added me to that group chat. I saw her name pop up as she added people. She left it open just long enough for me to read it. Then she kicked me out. She wanted me to see it. He froze. I could see it hit him all at once, the betrayal, the layers of it. His own mother, playing both sides. His sister, tearing down the woman he claimed to love. Mark started crying. Not sobbing. Just quiet, steady tears. He said, "I let them poison everything." "You did," I said. "And now you have to live with it." We didn't fight. We didn't scream. There was no grand drama between us. Just the truth. Laid bare. I left that night for the last time. 3 weeks later, I filed for divorce. I didn't ask for much, just enough to move on. Mark didn't fight it. I think he knew he didn't deserve to. I heard Jess's audit went through. She was fined. Lost the car. Danny got full custody, and from what Rachel told me, he's not letting her see the kids unsupervised. She posted a long, mental health journey video on Instagram, crying into the camera, blaming everyone but herself. The comments weren't kind. "A year ago, I lost a baby. I lost a family. But I gained something else. I found out exactly who I was when everything was stripped away. I'm not broken. I'm not weak. And I don't hide in bathrooms anymore."